Peace and blessings. Welcome back to the channel, Diva G's Reborns. We are here with our beautiful honey, continuing to bring up her colors in her mid face. She's looking good. She's really looking good. You can see that mid face glow. We are going to go over the entire kit with our um, nutmeg color, our number 5. We're going to just go over it just to kind of continue with the blend of the sienna, the burnt sienna. So we're going to do one coat or one layer of the nutmeg, which is number 5. Did you get to take a look at the haul, the mini haul I did from Dolls by Sandy? If you haven't, do check it out after this video. Do check it out. So we have our beautiful honey. She's coming along quite nicely, quite nicely. Okay, we're going to start with the back of her head. How is everyone doing? Have you been painting along? Are you painting, rooting? What are you doing? Are you just taking time out to enjoy some videos or what? I know when I'm painting, oftentimes, if I'm not recording, I'll be looking at other videos, sometimes of other artists, sometimes box openings, or just other Reborn Collectors channels. Sometimes I'm looking at different movies that, of course, have my interest, or different various topics that hold my interest. Sometimes I'm watching that. So we are just going right on ahead with this really pretty nutmeg color. We're going to go over the entire kit, including Honey's lovely face. We're going to make sure that we get in the eye sockets, all around the nose. Okay, we want to get everywhere on our kit. Okay. We want to try to make sure that we get in the folds around her mouth. Okay. And then we're going to continue to pounce out. Her color is coming up quite nicely. We're going to go in with her ears. I'm using this angled brush that they sent to me with my Ultimate Fusion air dry paints. Ears you have to be so careful with because they're small and they have a lot of crevices that you have to be careful that you keep them clean. Otherwise, they'll look muddy. They can get muddy real quick. Really, really quick. So you have to pay particular attention to keeping them clear. Okay, I'm looking at her lips. I know we didn't put any additional color on her lips right now. Okay, you can see the highlight is there. So she's coming along quite nicely. Quite nicely. She has this little, I don't know, kind of like these little crevices at the side of her eyes where paint pools. You see right here, paint tends to pool there, and that will give a a muddy look. So we're going to let her dry. I want to bring up the color on the soles of the feet. So since we have our nutmeg color out, we can go ahead with the soles of the feet. We can bring a little bit more. We can put a little bit more color here because they look a little bit pale. I will bring up the color on the feet, on the soles, because we want the soles to be a complementary color to the ankles and the rest of the skin tone on the leg. That's what we want. We don't want a stark difference. We want a complementary color. Depending on the skin tone, that will kind of guide you to the color of the soles and the palms of the hands. Now, I will do a slight amount of blushing on the um, soles of the feet. However, we do need some more color before we do that because her foot is looking quite pale. I think I may have missed the spot here. Did I? No, I didn't. So you can see a little bit of a difference. This one I just did with some more color. So I want to go over this foot and add some color to the soles of the foot. Going in first with the angled brush so I can get around the toes nicely. Get around the toes nicely. And then I'm gonna go soles of the foot. Do a little, very little blushing on the feet. We'll put a little bit, and we'll put a little bit on the fat pads of the toes, but we're not going to do too much blushing. Trying to get some really good light. It's kind of hard because the sun has gone down. So yes. Okay. Now what I will probably do is I will use the heat gun on Honey to dry her face because I would like to bring her head up, her skin tone up a little bit more before I do anything with her limbs. So I want to try to, get some little bit of continuity with that. I hope that makes sense. I think it does, right? I like the heat gun. As you can see, it can dry the kit really, really quickly. It can help to bring that so we are able to then paint again. I think I'll go over another layer with the nutmeg color. Remember, we have to slowly build up. Slowly build up. We're not in any hurry. We want our honey to look beautiful. So Kato's hair arrived. I have to decide on what color suits him best. I did post a short video about that. So I'm wondering if anybody has an opinion on the color, because I did ask the question if anyone had a suggestion on the color. I kind of like the there's a brown, there's a mohair brown. There's a few different browns. There's a really chocolatey brown that looks almost black. There's a deep brown, and then there's I guess, I don't know, like a medium brown. So I'm trying to think what color would look really good on him. I'm going across Honey's lips now to just have a little bit of a base of color. Making sure to go inside the eyes socket. The burnt umber, which is the burnt sienna. I think that gave a nice color around. It just kind of warmed up the kit, I think, and I think that's nice. Let me do her ears. Well, and we have to go into the ear canal when this dries with some more of the eyelid purple, because again, remember, that helps us build up the color. And we're also going to do the eyelid purple on the tips of the ears again, so that we can begin to build up color. The eyelid purple, we'll lay that down, and then we'll go on top of it with the burnt umber, the dark brown, because that's the color that the baby ultimately will end up being. So we want the tips of the ears to kind of be that color, and we're going to keep deepening that color because the limbs are going to be a little bit lighter than the tips of the ears, because on a melanated baby that's young, the tips of the ears and the parts of the fingers and toes where the knuckles are will tend to have a little bit more color in here, and that generally will be the color that the baby will ultimately be, because the baby doesn't have all of the color when they're first born. So in here you would see that dark coloring in there. So yeah, that's what we would what we would see. So I think that we will begin to go in with the dark brown, which is the number 4, because that's a little bit deeper. Because remember, we are going to just kind of gradually build up so that we can see a subtle shift in the colors, the layers. So the number 4 is a medium brown, whereas a nutmeg is lighter than that. So we're just kind of going another step. We have to let her dry. Okay, I think we will go over honey with, we'll begin to go around the border with the medium brown. We're going to feather it out ever so slightly. Yeah, we're gonna start really just getting it nice. This is such a deep, it's a rich color. We want to slowly, slowly, slowly build up. I'm going to test on the back of her head to see if I think it's a good time to start with this color. Well, I can start with this color and slowly build up. But we must slowly, slowly, slowly build up. Okay. Now, as you know, I'm a little bit nervous doing this part. Okay. Whew. Okay. All right. Let's kind of fade it around, shade it around. Okay. So we're coming down on the forehead a little bit. Okay. We want to try to make sure we get that even blend. Okay. Get it even with both sides. That's my concern. Trying to make sure that we get that evenness, that blend, a nice blend on the face. Now we're going to go under chin. I should say, yeah, because we didn't go there. Okay. I'm going to go in her ears. And we're also going to put this color in her nose. We're going to go around the back of the ears. Making sure, not, making sure that behind the ears, we also have color, and we'll be building it up as well. We want it to be, even, no contrast. Okay. Okay. Let's see. You see her? Looking good. Honey says, yes, I'm looking good. I'm looking cute. My color's coming right now. It's coming right now. Yes, she has to dry now. Okay. Excuse me. We're going back again around the mid face. And we're going to take our time, of course. Make sure our paint is thoroughly mixed. And then we're going to go in, kind of go back over where we already went with this sweeping motion so that we will then be able to blend nicely. Now remember, honey is going to be rooted. Okay. she's going to be rooted. We want to go around, again, around her mid face. And what we try to do is go in the same kind of like area so that the mid face, excuse me, is even. You know, the coloring and everything is even. Now we will go under her chin. Remember, we want that chin to still remain light though. You know, right there we want it to still be light. So excuse me. And remember, the neck, of course, is part of the face. So you want to make sure that you remember to do the neck, right? It's part of the face. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to meet toward the forehead area with this color. We don't have to go worry too much about going all the way. We just need to kind of meet where we began before. And again, with these sweeping motions so that we will have something to blend and it will blend nice and softly, easily. You know, we want to have that airbrushed effect using these Whisper sponges. And now I'm going to focus on painting ears now. Okay. Making sure we're getting the ear, in the front of the ear, the back of the ear. Pounce, pounce, pounce. Being certain that everything is smooth. We don't have any pooling anywhere, any streaks, any blank spots. Okay. You got to make sure that you're going, if your kit has a under the lobe, the earlobe, make sure that you're getting there too, because everywhere on the kit needs to have paint, because if you miss any place on your kit from having paint, when you're done, it will stand out. It will look stark. It will, so you want to be certain that every centimeter of your kit has paint. Every millimeter. Okay. Coming together nicely, right? Coming together nicely. That's our honey. I would like to crease certain areas on Honey's face, around her nose, certain areas around her eyes. Okay. Taking my favorite brush, my angle brush, and I'm going around her nose. Okay. And in her nose too. And then we're going to pounce with this brush that can kind of get in there without spreading too much around. Okay, now to give her eyes some definition, we're going to go inside the eye socket and make sure that we're putting this deeper color there. That will help to add some dimension there. I don't particularly like the way the paint pools inside that little crease. I don't like that. But it's almost like no matter what you do, it goes in there. Okay, so now another area that we're going to do a little bit of creasing, not heavy creasing. Because remember, we don't want our baby to look like she has bags, like she hasn't slept, like she's living a hard life. So we're going the creases that are under her eyes. Okay. And what it does is it just is another way to add some dimension. Now we're going to go into the sides of her mouth to create that shadow effect. and where her lips would be separated. And then we're going to, of course, pounce that. You see how it creates that depth? Now we're going to go under her chin because there would be some shadow there because of her lip. So we're going to pounce that. Okay. And then she has a wrinkle here or a fold. So we're just going to highlight this, or I should say, we're going to create a bit of a shadow there. Now we're not finished with putting color around the mid-face. We're not finished. We're just going ahead and maximizing our time by going over areas that we know need, that they will, that they need some color, and we can go ahead and we can do it because they're dry. Okay. I want to go just a little bit in the fold of the eyelid. I'm going to take this detail brush. This also is from Ultimate Fusion. Okay, it's a detail brush. It's very, very fine. And what I will do is, you see her eyelid folds? Just going to create a bit of depth by putting this color in there. Now, before, she already has some eyelid purple in that area. Okay. Because where you want to create shadows, eyelid purple is a very helpful color because, again, it just is like a chameleon. It works with everything. If you put it on first, whatever you put on top of it pops, with more color. If you put it on top of something, it makes whatever you put it on beautifully translucent. So it's one of those colors that's really, really beautiful. Now we're going to go under the chin here, and because there's a crease there that we can pay a little bit of attention to. This particular kit doesn't have a lot of creases. She's a pretty, it's a pretty kit. Creasing, creases in strategic places help to give the, give the kit character, some definition. Okay, you see how nice that mid face is coming along, and you can see where we put some of the we went here under the eye. We see that little fat pad there, so to speak. We did the sides of the nose right here, We did here, the corners of the mouth and where the lips meet. We did under the chin because the lip will create a shadow. Okay, and then we went under the chin because the chin, this chin bone is creating a little bit of a shadow and there's some fat there. So here, same thing underneath. So that's where we created those shadows. Now you can see where she's coming along. She's coming along quite nicely. Now we're going to go around the top of her nose, a little bit on the borders, the corners, to give a little bit of color there. Just a little bit of color there. Not much. Okay. Can you see where I'm going? I don't know. Oh yeah, you can see. Everything to create definition. And what we'll do is that area, we're going to go back over it, again. You can see a subtle difference, just a subtle change there. Okay. Now we're going to, of course, let her dry. And we're not going to do anything with her limbs because we still want to build her face up so that her face and her limbs will be, equal. Because right now, her leg is a little bit darker still. So we want to wait a little bit longer so that we can get her skin a little bit deeper, richer, before we're able to go and do anything else with the limbs. Because we still have quite a bit to go on our beautiful honey to get that extra rich, deep, deep chocolate color. I would like to say like, comment, subscribe, and share. Wishing you a peaceful day, a safe day. Come back real soon. Peace and blessings.